Hello guys, welcome to the channel. In this video I will show you my results for the previous week in trading, highlight the most interesting trades, where I distributed the most and where I earned the most. There will be a lot of useful information, so give a like in advance, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. If the video doesn't resonate with you, feel free to remove the like calmly, leave comments on what can be done to make the video even better. In general, let's move straight to the results. It was possible to earn $15,000 in a week. I'm thinking maybe it's worth removing these numerical values, showing them differently, because I also saw a person trading knives making $100,000 per trade. It made me dizzy and somehow negatively affected my trading, so I also think that maybe it's necessary to present it differently. Show not in money, but show specifically in percentages. Well, because many people also, get influenced by others' results. So he earns that much there, that's how much. Well, everyone has their own path. Not everyone makes $100,000, $200,000 with one trade, so maybe it's even better this way. If you want to showcase a certain trade, we will show it. Let's review and think about it, because again, I say perhaps many people also watch my videos, someone looks at the numbers and it confuses them. It somehow negatively affects his trading. Perhaps I am mistaken. Write about it in the comments. In general, let's move on to the essence of this video right away. The beginning of the week didn't start well at all, but I think it's clear here that the volumes are really quite small. There was a density issue, tried to figure out this density, analyze the density, so immediately switched to this very density. The loss here is minimal, subtracting $127. Next, we had a focus, as far as I can recall, on XRP. It is something special when it goes up. I even posted these trades in my Telegram channel. If you are not subscribed, make sure to subscribe. All these trades had already been here for a while. The next trade was more or less the same, just on a larger scale. In the past we rose, here we might decline, I guess that's what it's called. We had the first impulse, then a second take. I don't remember what I saw there in the order book. Unfortunately, I didn't record the trade, but I do remember that I exited very early, meaning literally after a second it showed around 8% profit, and I exited with only 2%. In short, like a starter. I messed up something, I don't know, although I put in a small amount here after that collapse on the Knif. After that video, it's a bit safer to put in the volumes that I used to put in before, so it takes some time to get used to it, but I think everything will return back. Then there's another deal with leverage, it seems, from some density, but again, the movement didn't start, so the loss here is minimal. Next we have the UG instrument. It's an attempt to break through a level. As you can see, I enter the level, but there's no movement. 9 seconds, minus 0.63, minus $350. To be honest, it was really unpleasant to get into UG. The coin was empty, illiquid, and it hit hard. I mean, it was quite a tough experience. Wanted to re-enter level, went into LAI, again movement, hit, took position, immediately pulled 0.76419 USD, 76 minus 499. In short, it was unpleasant with UBG, but what can you do about it? Next is a trade with XRP, a breakout trade. I think it's clearly visible here the levels that I broke through. Here we have the initial level of assistance, here we have the subsequent level of assistance provided. So there was this cascade of support levels. I entered here too, everything seemed fine in the setup, looked cool, but as soon as I entered it took me into a position, immediately pulled back 5 seconds into the trade, minus $521. Basically on that day I just had no luck with breakouts at all. No matter where I tried, they just weren't happening, that's all. Next, I re-entered Ripple, if I remember correctly, about twice. Here's the second attempt. Well, I think, such juicy lows, how can you not go for it? In the end, it didn't work. In reality, for the second time, they take away the same amount, and the shooting starts. Minus 0.37, minus 1000 USD. Here I've already loaded a good volume. It's the type of volume that I would like to consistently load, or at least the desired min. In the future, I think I will be busy. It's just a matter of time. For now, after this deal with UG, I need to take a little break. Next, I also entered XRP once, and here I got stopped out again. In short, XRP didn't work out, unfortunately. Next was a deal with Bitcoin Cash, a very frustrating deal because it was a long-term deal, a deal to hold, as the volume here was not significantly large either. I approached it from the perspective of density, with such an emphasis that there would be a kind of universal breakthrough, because that's how that setup looked, and in general there was a similar idea about XRP, that there would be some kind of breakthrough. Well, naturally, I did not anticipate a decrease of an entire 20% in that area, which occurred to us, but at the very least, I thought there would be some fluctuation of approximately 5%, perhaps in Bitcoin Cash, in XRP, in this entire subject matter. But about XRP, as you can see, I got stopped out multiple times, then there was a prolonged sideways movement, and only after that everything started to fall. Of course, no one expected a drop of 20%, 30% there, so I also closed my position on Bitcoin Cash. Seeing some buying activity in the order book, I think it's time to exit after all. That's it. Ended up with a pulse 2.5%, or more precisely 2.8%, withdrew $2,000. Seems like a decent level, also impulsively broke through Bitcoin Cash quite well. Seems all cool. Why did you go out there specifically? Well, because we opted for a location with a lower entry point. He's clearly been breached. The movement isn't progressing, so it's unlikely there'll be any more development. Following that, we encounter that extremely narrow passage. I am attempting to navigate through this narrow passage. I must admit I have not witnessed such narrow passages in the previous year. Because if there were any leaks, they were on individual instruments, and in this case, the entire market begins pouring, with everything at 10, 20, 30%. I didn't anticipate this situation with XRP. It was my initial entry point, but I quickly exited when I saw no movement, despite noticing severe lagging in my terminals. Then I verify XRP. This particular point, to the best of my recollection, was already favorable, because here the overall chart of one candle decreased by 6%, and these influential entities, XRP, and as you can observe, it is evident that within a span of 15 seconds, well, the chart unmistakably remained around one specific point. Typically, a knife is used when there are ongoing sales, and then there is a certain equilibrium between buyers and sellers, followed by a change in the opposite direction or a return to continuation. Here, there was a situation where sales kept coming, and the coin entered a small consolidation phase, balancing the forces of buyers and sellers. However, eventually sellers outweighed, and there was a downward movement. So here I immediately exit as soon as I see it going against me. There was a very unpleasant trade here, in the sense that I enter, the order book lags, I try to exit, but I can't. And no matter what buttons I press, it won't close on me. So I opened VLC, went in, entered that password there, not VLC but Tiger, and lately I've been testing out different platforms. By the way, if you are a developer or knowledgeable about development, I would like you to join the Telegram channel MBackScript, where you can find the link and fill out this form if you have knowledge and experience in developing something. We need guys like that. In general, I think everything is clear about this deal too. I mean, I was laying it out until I entered the password back and forth and ended up closing at minus 3,300, entered with a quite decent volume, so it would have been nice to lift something up on that volume. If it had gone up by 3%, it would have been around $1,002, so for me it was good. But again, then all my charts froze. I see that there is some wild, scary lagging going on. Everything is lagging severely. I understand that I can't open a position through the charts. I have Vataga open, I have Tiger Trade open, Scalp is open in the center. Everything is lagging everywhere. I understand that it's really not an option in the terminals. I see the Bybit exchange still open in the center. I see on Bybit exchange I only have $3K there, or 3.5, something like that. I think, well, if I load up with 20 keys, the volume is about 70, 80K. It's fine, you can load it. Even if I am theoretically liquid there, I am theoretically liquid for $3,000. If I were to show you the entry points that came before, you would see that those were more akin to moments that were stacked on top of each other, whereas these stops were different, and the last point was more based on a graph. On the 1 sec chart in the terminal, I observed the falling 1 sec candles. I notice when the seconds start ticking and enter the exchanges during these seconds. This is definitely an unusual experience, but I didn't see any other way to close this position. This is how it looked on the Bybit exchange, so I immediately placed limit orders for closure at 0.4750. My entry point was, darn it, I can't see my entry point. But at this point I already have about 15-16K, so my entry point is at 0.39.5. It was all because I look at the 1 second chart, I see a bounce on the 1 second chart, and I try to buy into this bounce through the exchange. Basically, in this case, everything is okay, but I think it would be much better through the terminal because the speed would be better there. Anyway, even like this is good, although of course it would be nice to really immerse oneself in such a thing. But these aren't normal knives discussed there. Once again, I listened to other experienced guys in this field for a long time. I've closed majority of positions via limit orders, have approximately $400 remaining in margins. Around 6 to 10% of positions have already locked in $14,000, but there is still $2,000 that needs to be locked in. They don't fixate on the latest limit order, so basically this trade of ours is closing. In total, this deal earned $16,000, covering all losses and ending up in the green, a nice plus. I only paid a commission of $78. If you want to save on trading fees, I can tell you that commissions can sometimes take a significant amount of money. Here you go, $160, $120. You will find links to exchanges in the description. Why give more to the exchange if you can save on it? If you desire, kindly register without referrals, as it is completely optional and entirely up to you. Overall, these are the results I've achieved for this week. Quite decent, I would say. Not bad, but it could have been better. Managed to grab a straight 20% on XRP. If a substantial volume were to be poured in here, it would have been a record-breaking deal. BTW, I don't know if XRP is my record deal or not. BTW, it might even be a record deal. Maybe it's a record deal, BTW. In summary, the majority of the profit this week was generated through trading XRP, which proved to be a highly profitable venture. And additional profit was made from the rebounds. When it comes to breakouts, that's where the most losses were incurred. No breakout worked out for me, at least in my particular case. These trades, I have no idea what these trades are because I just added the keys to 2 bits today without any understanding. There might be some lag bug. I don't know what these trades are at all. I haven't even seen them. In general, we'll end it here. Thanks guys for watching. If you liked the video, don't forget to like, subscribe, trade what you know. Good luck to all. May you have profits, happiness, peace, kindness, and goodbye to all. Thanks again.